This works the same way as the circumference ones do. You find the area of the whole circle, and then you can find out the fraction that you're talking about. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is find out, since we're supposed to find the area of the shaded sector, we're going to find out what this angle is, because we don't want the non-shaded. So you do 360 minus 105, and you get 255 degrees on this side. All right, now we're going to find the area of the whole thing. Area is equal to pi r squared. Now I'm going to help you work on dealing with pi, because when you go to the SATs, they will give you things in terms of pi, and you want to be familiar with that. All right, so when you look at the radius squared, that's going to be 64 pi, and we're just going to leave this in terms of pi. That's going to be inches squared. All right, now, two ways to work this, as there always are. Okay, let's start with working it as a proportion. 255 degrees out of the 360 degrees is equal to, the whole thing is 64 pi. So we're going to line that up with our whole circle, inches squared, and we're just going to leave that in terms of pi. Now we're going to cross multiply. 255 times 64 is 16,320 pi, and we're just going to leave it that way, inches squared, and then we've got 360 degrees x. Divide both sides by 360, and we get 45.3. Repeating, and that's times pi. Now we can multiply that times pi. 45.3, and we get 45.3 times pi. For some reason, I'm not getting my calculator to do that. Equals 142.31 inches squared. Okay, now you could do it a little bit differently if you wanted to. You could say 255 degrees out of 360 degrees times our total area, which was 64 pi, is equal to, so we're going to do 255 divided by 360, and then we're going to multiply that times 64, and then times pi. Okay, 255, I keep on messing. I want to get the slight difference in answers so that you can see it. Okay, times 64, and then times pi. 142.41. See how it comes out just a wee bit different. It has to do with where you're clearing the calculator. I cleared the calculator before this multiplying by pi step, and that changed my answer just a little bit. And that's okay, I count it correct. Please show all your work though, so that if it comes out really strange, I can figure out what you did. Okay, and this is telling us the area of this circle is 49 meters squared, and the area of the sector. So we want to find the area of the whole thing. Well, you can set this up as a proportion. 68 degrees is to 360 degrees as 49 meters squared, and I put this together with the 68 because they're related. And then x, and we get 68x is equal to 360 times 49, and we get 17,640. Divide both sides by 68, and you get 259.4, and that's x. Or 0.41. They didn't tell whether to go to the hundredths or the tenths. You could also say 68 degrees out of 360 degrees times the total area is equal to 49m squared, in which case you would go ahead and divide 68 by 360. You get 0.18. Repeating, and then you can divide both sides by that. 49 divided by that answer is 259.41. I didn't finish writing that. Okay, so you see how that works. All right, now this one is asking us for the radius, so this is going to require another step. We have the area of the sector. Okay. And they have a different equation in the book. I like to do it from a sense approach rather than just formulas, but you can use the formulas. And this particular problem works well for some people using the formula. And that would be 114 divided by 360 times pi r squared is equal to the sector. If I'm not mistaken, that's how they write it. Okay, and that helps you find r more easily. Alright, so we know the sector, sorry about that, is 36 centimeters squared. And we're going to go ahead and divide 114 by 360. And we get 0.316 7, so 0.317 times pi r squared, and then we're going to go ahead and multiply times pi, and that gives us 0.994 r squared, and we're going to divide both sides. 36 divided by that, and we get approximately 36 again, which makes r, it's going to be 36.2. And then we take the square root of that to find r. We get 6.015, or 6.02 is equal to r. Okay, that's one way to work that, but those of you who don't like using the book's way of doing things might want to set this up as a proportion and say 114 degrees over 360 is equal to 36, which is the area of the sector, over the area of the whole thing. We get 114a. 36 times 360 is 12,960. And then you would divide both sides by 114. Whoops, that doesn't say 114. And you get that the area is equal to that doesn't say 114 either. And that gives us 0.789. That's not right. 129.60 divided by 114. I don't know how that happened. 113.68. And then you would need to say, oh, that's the area. So pi r squared equals 113.6. Divide both sides by pi. Divided by pi is 36.186. And then take the square root of both sides. 6.01 or 6.02, 6.015, which is 6.02. Okay. Remember, you can always roll this back and look at it again. I say that because I talk awfully fast sometimes.